A spell has been about you since first you glimpsed the coast of San Mateo. Here is the long dream. You will carry a bit of it all your life, for the dream is fadeless, the heritage of all those who know and love this land. Galen Wolfe. Our coastside has grown in diversity and wealth and quality of life. Amazingly, here in the shadow of big San Francisco and the Silicon Valley, it has, with the efforts of dedicated residents, kept its unspoiled beauty, its farms, and its fishing. Most remarkably, it has kept its small-town charm, its welcoming spirit, and its connection to its history in the forms of old buildings, artifacts, and stories of its past, from the first Native American residents to the remarkable individuals and families from around the world who have all helped make the coastside what it is today. Much like the open space, however, these memories and belongings won't last without the necessary care and concerted effort of the community.
The Half Moon Bay History Association was founded in 2006 to educate, to preserve, to celebrate coastside history. We want the community to help assure the future of our past. We want to build for our community a thoughtful, full-scale local history museum.
The Half Moon Bay and Coastside Museum will be an immersive journey through the history of this unique place. The trip starts out at the original jail built during the turn of the century. Then we head on to the yard, where we'll witness an Ohlone village and maybe watch how acorns are ground into flour. From there, we enter the old Johnston barn, its interior now converted into a glorious museum. We first touch the bricks that built the foundation of the pueblos dating from the Spanish land grants. We then head on over to the gold rush, which brought people from all around the world. We will hear stories from the migrants from Italy, Portugal, China, the Philippines, who all settled here, creating the farms and the fishing that we still have today. Then we take a ride on the Ocean Shore Railroad. It must have been a thrill on those trains, splitting mountains and dangling over the cliffs. The next stop is Prohibition. Under the shroud of fog, the coastside was a popular spot for smugglers, a true testament to the offbeat nature of this area that still resonates. We then follow with the maritime and farming history of the area. We may have high technology over the hill, but the soul of the coastside will always be working the land and the sea. The museum will tell the salty tales of the Pacific, as well as display the old machineries that changed the soil. Finally, the Odyssey ends with the coastside during World War II. From patriotism to discrimination to peace, the coastside transforms from a community ready to defend the nation to a place that relishes freedom. This entire museum will be such an asset to the community, from little kids learning about their hometown to big kids realizing why this place is so special.
Hello, I'm Dr. Deborah Penrose, Mayor of the City of Half Moon Bay. I'm also the owner of this beautiful historic home built in 1867. It's on the National Register and was the home of William Adam Simmons. Simmons was a farmer, carpenter, and undertaker. He even built coffins on the back of the property here. Stories like these are why I love living on the coastside. These buildings belong to the city of Half Moon Bay, and now we have the exciting opportunity to convert the barn into a history museum. This will give us the opportunity to share stories like mine and those of the many fascinating people who built this community. But we're going to need your help to make this happen. The city has entered into an agreement with the Half Moon Bay History Association to redo the barn as a history museum. They've been working diligently, but there are only 2 years left. We need your help to make this happen. We have had other proposals for the reuse of the barn. We will have to consider them if this project is not successful. We sincerely hope it will be. We think a Coastside local history museum will be a wonderful asset for our schools, for our visitors, and for our local community. Please help us make this a reality.
But they would decorate with things that they found, shells, anything that they found. These are necklaces, if you want to put a necklace on them. I'm Juliette Applewhite. I'm the chairman of the Education Committee for the Half Moon Bay History Association. The History Association has a robust education program that has visited local elementary schools for the past 5 years to share coastside history. Students rotate through different craft stations, including grinding various grains, fabricating paper quilts, constructing corn husk dolls or action figures, making butter 3 different ways, and writing with quill pens and ink. This hands-on participation helps develop a sense of how the area has changed with the times and how those changes have affected their lives. A Coastside History Museum will help further expand this program to reach more people, young and old, deepening understanding of our shared history.
Hi, I'm Clyde Beffa, and I'm chairman of the Campaign to Save Our Coastside History. I'm very enthusiastic about building this history museum from the old Johnston barn, mainly because my family has a long history in Half Moon Bay. My grandmother had 17 brothers and sisters, and she was born in Half Moon Bay. And my grandfather was born in Montara, and there was 13 brothers and sisters. So we had a lot of great aunts and uncles running around. I've heard so many stories from my grandfather and father over the years, but a lot of the stories have been lost through the time. But we now have this chance, an amazing moment where we can convert the historic Johnson Barn in the center of town into the Coastside History Museum that will save these stories and preserve the community's cultural treasures. Unfortunately, we have a deadline, and we only have 2 years from our agreement with the city to get this up and running. Great progress has already been made. Plans have been drawn up and they have been submitted. We're ready to go to work. I hope our community will come together, old families and new families, to save our coastside history.
Please join us in the creation of this vital, thoughtful local museum. The coastside is filled with stories, big and small. We need to save all of them. This is our history. This is our museum.